What's up guys, it's me Jeremy. The tank meta has been fading away for a while now, and with the AP item changes, as well as the revamp of the Devourer jungle item, the tank meta is really starting to fade away for a variety of reasons. Let's get started. So the first reason as for why the tank meta is declining is that the powerful tank champions have been receiving steady nerfs. Many tanks had really strong kits that were loaded with crowd control and damage, and when the overpowered tanks got nerfed, tanks were put in a spot where their strength was based on the power of tank items alone being super strong. Now, tank items in general are quite powerful since they're cheap to build compared to offensive items, and the way that tank stats interact with a kit is quite powerful. The longer you can stay alive for in a fight, the more damage you can put out as a whole, since it's going to take a lot longer to kill you, so you have more time to deal damage, and thus you can end up putting out quite a bit of damage with just your base stats when you have a full tank build, simply because it will take so long to kill you in a fight. So in that sense, building tank does actually increase your damage, which makes the concept of a tank item extremely powerful. And since other items don't really do that, the trade-off that other AD items have is that they scale off of each other quite well. For instance, if you have an Infinity Edge and you pick up some attack speed, the value of that attack speed is a lot higher because of the attack damage that you get from the Infinity Edge, while AP items tend to provide a large amount of utility, or with an item like Rabadon's, scale off each other as well. Meanwhile, tank items have diminishing returns on resistances, so although armor and magic resistance scale well with health items, buying something like 2 armor items makes the armor you get from the second item less valuable, since the damage reduction does have a diminishing return. And so with patch 5.13, the introduction of Devourer and the new AP items has done a lot to hurt the strength of tanks. Devourer is a crazy strong damage item right now, and results in a build that has a very high amount of sustained damage that is also mixed damage, and so it does a great job of melting tanks quite quickly, and reduces the strengths of their itemization options versus a Devourer jungler, due to the mixed damage aspect of increasing attack speed while also giving magic damage on hit. And so in a sense, this item does a great job of countering tanks, since powerful sustained damage is what is going to kill a tank the fastest, and it's exactly what the item brings to the table. As well, the new AP items are quite strong versus tanks, since they are just a lot stronger in general, and tanks tended to be crazy strong versus magic damage, since AP damage champions tend to not really have sustained damage at all, and are much more burst oriented, so a tank could survive the burst quite easily, especially with an item like Banshee's Veil. But with the new AP items like the new Liandry's and the new Rylai's, which is great for kiting tanks, as well as a higher AP Rabadon's and better power spikes, the huge advantage that tanks had on AP champions has shrunk by a reasonable amount, and so that's a pretty big strength that tanks had that's been somewhat thrown out the window now in favor of some really strong mid-game mages that are great at kiting tanks due to the crowd control in their kits and the large amount of utility within AP items such as Rylai's and Zhonya's. If you're enjoying my analysis and want to see more videos like this, just a reminder to tap that like button. And so with all of that said, the meta has shifted quite heavily to champions that do really well against tanks. Hyper carries have become super popular due to their ability to melt tanks, and utility mages are also very strong since they do a great job of kiting tanks and slowly melting them down. Tanks do have a lot of counterplay to them, mainly sustained damage and kiting, and so they're far from something like assassins, who tended to have a very unfair playstyle with difficult counterplay when they were dominating the meta. And so now we are experiencing a meta shift. It's hard to say where it will be headed next, but with Sated Devourer and the new AP items giving very strong power spikes, I think we will see a meta that is focused quite heavily around the mid game, since that is what I see as pretty strong right now on the most recent patch. In a mid game meta, it's power spikes and burst damage that shines through, as well as strong initiations, and so champions that fit that role should be able to have a strong showing. I don't know for sure, but that looks to be where it is headed, barring any major changes from Riot. And that just about wraps it up. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button to help support me, as well as you could subscribe for some more awesome content in the future. And definitely check out some of my other videos on the screen too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.